Alright, so I said I'd make a video explaining why I voted for Trump, so that's what we're gonna do today. I actually waited a bit before recording this because I wanted to get a better idea of what the general reactions were to my political choice. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not surprised by some of your responses. Many of you were happy that you had another person you could relate to, especially so for minorities who also voted for Trump. And then of course we had the other folks who were caught off guard or felt personally betrayed or slighted in some way because I voted for the other guy. I said this before and I'll say it again, there's a difference between asking why did you vote for Trump versus how could you vote for Trump.
One comes from a place of curiosity and the desire for more dialogue, and the
Hello there. This is Gothix. I titled this video Possible Grifter because I genuinely have no idea where her values lie. I've seen a few of her videos and they're all utterly devoid of anything resembling substance. She seems to be a simple anti-SJW, which is pretty cringe. TJ Kirk doesn't make that kind of content anymore. I'm going to quickly go over a few of her videos so that you can get an idea of who she is. She has a video on racism and states that not everyone in America supports Black Lives Matter. Who'd have thought? Without even using this very specific photo, support for BLM went down to 55% in 2020, which is just over half in America. So, she's trying to sell us on a false premise.
Coon. And we're not talking about raccoons either. Oh no, we're talking about a different type of coon.
Oh, are we talking about the Japanese honorific for young males? JK. In her video explaining why she doesn't support Black Lives Matter, ironic, she states that BLM is less concerned with black lives than politics, which is a bizarre criticism. Black lives are unfortunately probably inextricably tied to politics, especially in America. Your country literally fought amongst themselves over whether or not black lives should be property. And how about this one? A video on why she left the Democratic Party. Here she says that the left dominates the media. And says that a Proud Boy had a black wife and mixed child. Basically the I can't be racist, I have black friends argument. Let's jump ahead now, because she has an update video called 2 months after leaving the demo left? What? Since when are Democrats leftists? There are a few social democrats in the party, but which one wants to abolish capitalism? She also says something about the media only showcasing white Trump supporters, which the majority of Trump voters were white anyway, so moot point. So hopefully you've got an idea of who she is. If not, too bad, I'm getting sick of this. So let's actually get to the video that I want to cover, which is the 7 reasons why she voted for Donald Trump. Should be good. Of course I'll link the video in the description, so that you can be sure that I'm not misrepresenting her. One last thing. This is a 17-minute video of hers, so I'm only going to respond to her main points.
Number 1. He's anti-political correctness and pro-First Amendment.
I don't want to come across as too condescending, but does she even have a definition of political correctness? Wikipedia defines political correctness as a term used to describe language, policies, or measures that are intended to avoid offense or disadvantage to members of a particular group in society. In a country like the United States, which is home to many different groups of people, such as mostly white people, but also black and indigenous people, and having one group enslave and genocide the other two, is a little bit of sensitivity so bad. And what you said about Trump being pro-free speech is like stupid false. The man has said that NFL players should be fired for partaking in protests during the national anthem. He's issued gag orders against the Environmental Protection Agency, ceasing them from communicating with the press and public. And are we also forgetting about the travel ban? What is more anti-free speech than literally discriminating against someone for their spiritual beliefs? That's actually what political correctness of the right is, also referred to as patriotic correctness. So that was number 1. What's next?
Number 2, gun policy.
Here she mostly compares Donald Trump's gun policy to Joe Biden's, and says that Biden's policies won't address gang violence. Just check the man's website and you'll see that he has a plan to address gang violence. Criminal background checks. Now, I will give Trump credit for one of his changes while in office, in which he removed a regulation which prevented disabled people from obtaining firearms. I mean, holy shit, I liked something that Trump did.
Number 3, I hate socialism. Point blank period.
Well, this is interesting. I am a socialist. I wonder what her definition of socialism is. Spoiler warning, she doesn't define what socialism actually is, which is worker ownership of the means of production. She just characterizes socialism as government does stuff, which is a fucking meme, right? She also seems to have this misconception that competition won't exist under socialism. Market socialism is a thing. It's the system of socialism that Vosh advocates for. There's also this bit.
But Gothix, do you mean to tell me that you would rather have low taxes instead of ensuring that everyone eats or has access to affordable healthcare? Yes.
All that I have to say to that is that 2 years ago, I needed an ultrasound and an X-ray. They cost me nothing. I don't live in America. She also says that government makes people dependent or something stupid like that. 40 million people in the United States live in poverty. 2/3 of the population are living paycheck to paycheck. These people do not have the freedom to pursue their desires or dreams. Sure, you say that you rose above it all, but that doesn't mean that the system is working. Which is a moot point because the system is working. This is how capitalism works. All of the wealth goes to the bourgeois, and everyone else gets the crumbs.
Number 4, moral compass.
Here she says something along the lines of, yeah, Trump has said bad things, but so did Biden. Yeah, I don't like Biden. Rainbow capitalism isn't good. Rainbow capitalism is bad. But Trump refused to decry his white supremacist fans. He said that there were good people at Charlottesville. And as for his policies, the pay protection plan was denied to 90% of black-owned businesses, which led to 40% of those businesses to shut down during COVID.
Number 5, Stop selling my people a pipe dream, Biden.
She says this right after clarifying it was a factor to her leaving the left. She doesn't even know what socialism is. Here she says hardly anything. She says that racism isn't going away and that racism has been around since the dawn of time, which isn't untrue, but race is a social construct and different civilizations have had different ideas about race. America has had different ideas about race. The Irish were once not considered white. She also said that Trump did condemn white supremacists. Which he did. But to save face! If you haven't learnt that by now, you're a damned fool.
Number 6. Transparency.
Here she says she's had it pretty easy under the Trump administration. 40 million in poverty. Keep calm, keep calm. You also have Trump moving a requirement to report civilian deaths due to drone strikes. She also said that black lives don't matter to Biden. Trump told Jenny Dorkin and Jay Inslee to take back their city during the George Floyd protests. And according to an article that I've already referred to, the living situation of black lives has not improved but declined.
Number 7. Biden's too risky.
Trump is a reality show host. Here the meat of what she's talking about is circumstantial stuff between Biden and China, but no real proof. I don't want to stand China. China is a human rights violating hellhole, but Russia? You're skeptical of Biden because of China, but there's also all that which has to do between Trump and Russia. She also said that Trump has been fighting propaganda, which is ridiculous. According to the Washington Post, Trump has made over 19,000 false or misleading claims. I'd link you that article, but you have to subscribe, so I'll link you a PolitiFact article instead. Finally, this is not me passionately defending Biden. The Republicans and Democrats are both woefully corrupt parties that only have the corporate benefactors at heart, and honestly, they serve the same masters. Remember, I titled this video Possible Grifter because I don't know for sure. She could be completely honest in her beliefs, and I'd respect that more than a grifter. She's also had the foresight to know that some will call her a grifter. And I must conclude by saying, Gothix. I really like that name. I wish that I came up with it.